Hi students! Today we're talking about a very, very, very famous artist named Pablo Picasso. Probably one of the first artists you think of when you think of artists. Pablo Picasso, who was this guy? So Pablo Picasso really had most of his activity around 1910. And his work is often broke up into different periods of his life. There was first the blue period. The paintings are kind of sad there. You have the rose period, which is a lot of circus themed artwork. And then the African influence period, where he looked at a lot of African art for inspiration. And then he got into Cubism, which he founded with another artist. Now, what is Cubism, you may ask? Cubism is when an artist looks at an object and sort of takes all those parts of the objects and breaks them down and then says, I want to make these abstract and not what they are. I want to make these more like shapes, or I want to make this three-dimensional thing look more flat. Things like that. And then it became Cubist art. So Cubist art often has the features of a person, but it's not the same look of the person because all those pieces of that person's face have been kind of reinterpreted by the Cubist artist. Now, how are we going to make a Cubist portrait of our own? I'll tell you. So, I made this little Cubist portrait, and we're going to do it with a sort of Roll-A-Masterpiece game. So I'm going to do a video where I show you how to do that, and you'll be able to make your own Cubist piece. Okay, so what did I use here? Really, all I used were crayons and watercolors, and the resource sheet that I'll give you. For this project, there are a couple things that I would like you to do. I would like you to draw big on your paper. So if you are working on this and you draw something small, you can just go ahead and cut your paper smaller. So if you feel like you can't draw big on your paper, just use a smaller paper. First expectation, draw big. My second expectation is that you use the Roll-A-Masterpiece sheet while creating your artwork, and you don't just copy what I've done here. My third thing is I would like you to add some details, lines and shapes and swirls after your painting has dried with crayon. That's all I really need from you, though. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. So I wanted to show you a way that you could make a unique Picasso piece without just following what I was doing. So here we have this Roll-A-Picasso game, and I have a dice roller that I just Googled, and I can share that with you on the lesson. So you can just hit roll. I rolled my dice, and that tells me what my first roll, my head shape, is going to look like. So I look at the two row here, and I see my head is this one right here. I'm going to roll again for my first eye. And I got a 2 for that one too. So you can see here that I am choosing this eye for my first eye. Let's see what I get for my second eye. 5. Okay, so my second eye is going to look like this. All right, that seems pretty interesting. So that's how I'm going to make this. I would invite you to do the same. And we're going to continue on with the rest of our lesson.
Okay, everybody, you can see me rolling the dice here. And I'm starting with a blue crayon. I actually ended up wishing that I used a black crayon or just a darker color in general, because later when I watercolored over it, I was wishing it was a little bit more bright, and that's one of the reasons I end up going over some of the details with crayons. I'm adding my first eye with the 6-eye roll, and now you can see I rolled a 5, so I'm doing the 5-eye from the second eye chart, and I'm going to continue on until I do my whole face. to say also that if you're not really that pleased with what you rolled, you're fine to roll again. That is okay by me. It's not as important to, just follow exactly what the dice rolls. I get if you don't want to do certain lips or eyes or things like that. I decided to do a little chair in the background here. What's nice about Cubism is you don't have to make all the lines line up, so if you want to put something behind the person and you're worried about getting the lines to line up with the way it would look if it were happening in real life, you don't really have to worry about that when you're doing a cubist drawing. I went ahead and added some hair. Do whatever details you would like to do. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good about what I have, so I'm going to go ahead and take my watercolors out. I'm just going kind of wild with my watercolors and doing whatever colors I would like to do. Doesn't really matter what color you color your face or anything in this painting, because really anything goes with Cubism. Okay, so at this point I'm almost done coloring in my whole face, and after this I'm gonna give this some time to get dry, and then I will add some details. Here I am doing that now. I'm just using my crayons. I have some construction paper crayons. Again, I think the darkest colors are gonna show up the brightest against the watercolors, so just keep that in mind when you're working on this. And I'm just adding some lines and shapes all over the place, so you can do some lines and shapes too. Okay, I'm getting towards the end of this video. I've added a lot of detailed lines around my piece, and it's looking better every second. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.